know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 120 people in 10 different countries, and it's going to be fabulous. So let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Let me put the date and everything on the banner. Okay, so it is June 2026, and this is the first in the set of 3 healings for this month. And this month, the theme is so fabulous and so enjoyable. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, so the theme for this month of June is take action, identity and confidence, and decisiveness, which I love so much. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. And so obviously this set of 3 healings and the twin set later this month, which is still for sale on my website, jwhealing.com, is the same theme. And we'll be doing different aspects of it, different variations on it, and it'll all be fabulous. Thank you for all my confirmations. I appreciate it. All right, so what are we going to do today? I am uber prepared. So prepared. So, we are going to work the most on decisiveness today, but we'll probably hit the whole bunch of them in this healing as well. But for decisiveness, one of the 4 major things that we're doing 4 major things plus, of course, our 5 essentials, which we always do. So one of the 4 other things is the gallbladder and liver meridian. And I'm going to do that right at the start of the healing, right after grounding. So it'll be grounding and then gallbladder and liver meridians. With the most emphasis on unblocking the 2 Wei Qi auras of those meridians. Although we're not going to just only unblock those 2 Wei Qi auras, but mostly like we'll comb outward from those meridians, and I'll like loop the gallbladder meridian and then the liver meridian video, and they'll just loop back and forth as we're working. And so we'll do some healing directly. We'll do some healing of those 2 meridians, like imagining them as rivers, so you don't have to know like the whole pathway thing or think about it. But then I think the most effective one will just be combing through the meridian points, like having a really small copy out in front of you of yourself, combing through those meridian points and outward, and just getting a sense of all the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now that are impacting that particular meridian, and then, you know, mindfully clearing them. Because that usually like opens it way up really nicely. Opens it, meaning that meridian. And unblocking the points and stuff. So that should be exciting. And why we're doing gallbladder and liver meridian, gallbladder meridian does help with decisiveness and taking action. And then liver meridian is its yin paired meridian, so it's like yang and yin, and so liver meridian helps to support the gallbladder meridian and vice versa. And so if we get them both improved, then you should see even better results than just working on one or the other. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be very nice. And very relevant for our theme. But also one of those things where, because even any one of these points on one of these meridians helps with like, you know, half a dozen different important things. So anytime we work, you know, entire meridians, especially an entire, you know, 2 paired entire meridians, there's going to be a lot of other benefits that are absolutely not having anything to do with the theme, which is fun. It's probably more fun for people that do all the healings. But like I always say, I still love the people that don't do all the healings. Most people do because they have subscriptions. But if you don't, I definitely still love you. You can purchase manually until they're sold out. But use your intuition if you're going to pick and choose and only do some of them, because, you know, your angels will know. Like, so just try to use your intuition and your angels' advice to pick if you're going to just dabble and do a couple sets and not all of them. But anyway. Okay, so that's that. That's going to be nice and helpful. And at the end of that gallbladder and liver meridian work, we will do our little 3-step wrap up that we did a bunch late last month, which is this a 3-step wrap up. So you recycle any lurker invasive beings that you've popped out, but they're still kind of hanging out looking for opportunities to mess with you. So have your angels recycle the lurkers. You just kind of look for them. And then clear STEBs and do a blue soak for your mind. So it's just a nice way to kind of adjust after doing something somewhat major. So that'll be nice. So it'd be grounding, and then gallbladder and liver meridian work, and then the 3-step wrap up stuff. So that's how we're going to start the healing. And then we will finish the 5 essentials. So we would have already done grounding. So then we'll do oral repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, and back of head stuff. But then after that, we're going to do so we're going to clear take action baggage 2 ways. And one way is just super simple. You just imagine it as any visual representation you want, and clear it that way mindfully. So you get rid of invasive beings and you uncord people, and then you just melt whatever object you're imagining that represents your clear take action baggage. That is healthy and gentle to clear right now. But then the other way we're going to do it is with this CNS-ENS. CNS stands for central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord and your brain. And then ENS is enteric nervous system, and that's your all these nerve cells in your, basically your digestive system, from your esophagus all the way down to your rectum. So the whole pathway that food takes, you know, that all the nerve cells there, it's, some people refer to it as like your second brain, you know, all the nerves and stuff of your digestive system, essentially. So back 2 months ago in April, late April, so almost 2 full months ago, in late April, the April 2026 twin set, we did work like that. We did CNS-ENS stuff, not for taking action, but just to help the communication between the two. I think that month we were working emotions, maybe. So, but it's really nice to, because you know how sometimes it's like, sometimes there are blocks in your brain about, you know, why you're not taking action, but sometimes it's in your gut. Like, you know, you just feel that nervousness in the pit of your stomach or something, or, the dread, so it should be really interesting to clear blocks in both those systems and help watch the communication between the two. So we'll do it similar to how we did it 2 months ago, where you imagine just a red line for your central nervous system and a red line representing your enteric nervous system, and then just see the blocks that are in those systems that are in the way of you taking action in a way that would be really beneficial for you right now, and just melt those blocks, and mindfully, but blah blah blah. And then you just kind of do this red ball test where you make like a red ball of your energy and see if it can go smoothly through the two systems back and forth, because you want that communication between the systems too, because they're supposed to talk to each other, but sometimes you can have baggage like in the middle, blocking your brain from accurately getting that communication from your gut and vice versa. So it's easier to do than to explain. But anyway, that's what we're going to do to help you take action. So that should be nice. So we haven't worked that brain gut stuff more since, those 2 healings in late April. So it should be nice. Looking forward to that. So this is sort of maybe an imprecise way of referring to it, but we're going to clear blocks in 2 ways to help you get good information, to help you take action and, have confidence and, have a positive identity and be decisive. So those 2 ways are, we're going to clear baggage to help you hear your angels better, and also clear baggage in between your 7th chakra and your 8th chakra. So your 7th chakra is in the top of your head, 8th chakra is up above your aura. It's part of your higher self. It has a lot of your eternal wisdom from past lives. And so we'll just unblock that route so you get more of your eternal wisdom with less sort of distortion from baggage and stuff. So you'll get more, hopefully more, insight and wisdom and sort of a calming energy, which can help with all the parts of the theme, especially taking action, I would think, and being decisive. So that's going to be easy and good. Little 2-part thing there, so you have more guidance from your higher self as well as your angels. And then if we have time, we're going to also So I noticed a bunch of people needed their spiritual path to be unblocked, but it may not be needed, which is why I think the angels put it at the end. So we'll see if it's needed, because sometimes you do these other things and like whoosh, your path just opens up. So we'll see. But if it's needed, we'll definitely do it. So unblocking your spiritual path can help if you feel like you're roadblocked, you're just not taking initiative, you don't know what's wrong with you, or if there's some unexplained reason why you feel overwhelmed and you're, a bunch of your space seems fine, you don't know what's up. So unblock your spiritual path is always good. So that's what we're going to do today. That's all. So let's see what else. Oh yeah. So most of you guys know about healing subscriptions. A lot of you guys already have them. You don't have to have them. You can buy healings one at a time if you want, or sets of healings one at a time on my website. But a lot of people, it's pretty convenient to do it that way. It's one less thing you have to remember to pay for every month. If you're going to do it anyway, you may as well just, if you want, get a subscription. So I decided, because it is less bookkeeping for me, work every month if people do have a subscription. So I decided to offer people some level of incentive that's not, as far as I know, it's not manipulative. Like I ask the angels, because that's why I don't like doing salesy stuff sometimes, because a lot of sales stuff is very manipulative, which is bad karma for me. So that's not worth it for sure. But anyway, the angels suggested it. They said it's fine. And, it kind of goes with the theme of taking action that we have this month. So I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. So if somebody buys a full subscription for themselves or a loved one this month, the initial payment, like say, today, if you bought on my website a full subscription for yourself or your, I think in the email I put, if your husband, Mr. Clark Hot Stuff, you got him a set of healing. You got him a subscription, a full subscription. And so if Mr. Clark Hot Stuff, you want him to get healings as soon as possible, because the subscription buys 2 months in advance. So when you buy the subscription, then that first payment, that comes out right away, that bought the August sets for Mr. Clark Hot Stuff. So then, you either want to buy the sets in between now and then, or you just wait for, your healings to start every month, August onward. But so for June, the promotion is that I would give you 2 free sets if you buy a new full subscription for somebody, including yourself. It could be for yourself this month. So that way, Mr. Clark Hart Stuff could get, like, if you buy it today, it's too late to get the set, but he could get the June twin set for no charge and then the July triplet for no charge. So then he'd really just have one healing that set that he's not getting before his August, all his subscription kind of takes over, and then he gets all the sets. But then I guess you could manually buy the other set. But anyway, so that's the idea. You just get 2 free sets if you buy a subscription this month, June. A full subscription. Full meaning, both sets each month. Because there is a subscription that's sort of like a mini subscription just for the twin sets each month. But the promo isn't for that. But it's a nice thing if people want that. And people probably know, but if you haven't checked, maybe you would assume that's not the case. There are sliding scale prices for subscriptions and if you purchase individually. So the top price is the standard price. So if you can afford it, please just go ahead, pay the standard price. But if you can't afford it and you otherwise wouldn't be able to manage the payments, then just look down at the other options and then pick one that is affordable for you. So if you didn't know that, maybe you just assume like, oh, there's no way I can afford that. Don't assume. Go ahead and check, because you might be pleasantly surprised. So that's jwhealing.com. Okay. So that's really my main news thing I wanted to say. I've never done a promo like that in like 25 years. This year I've now been a full-time pro reader healer for 25 years. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, this is my first promotion that I've ever done. All right, so let's see. I'm going to take a look at pre-healing chat comments. If you want, feel free to say hi, where you're viewing from, where just say hi, all that, if you want. And if you could give this live stream a thumbs up, or later if you're watching as a video, hello to you. And if you could give the video a thumbs up, either way, that would really help. Okay, someone says, we can see and hear you from Ottawa, Canada. Hello to you in Canada. We can see and hear you. Thank you so much. Hi from Chicago. We can see and hear you. 86 degrees Fahrenheit and sunset. That's so wild. So we have, 3 more hours of daylight. And you guys are only 2 hours from us, so I don't know how that works, but whatever. We're more north than you, so Maybe that's why. Hey Janet, can see and hear you from sunny San Francisco, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that's nice. Hi Janet, 78 degrees Fahrenheit in New Hampshire today. I like those emojis. So it says we have a beautiful evening in Washington, D.C., 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that all sounds very nice. I'm glad you guys are all having nice weather. We are too, actually. It was supposed to be in the 60s, but it must be high 60s because it's pretty nice out here. All right. No complaints. Oh, I did want to play this for you guys. I don't think I played this last month. I had it ready for the final healing. This baby turtle little clip. I clipped it out of a... No, I think I just bought it. Yeah, I bought this. How cute is he? I have a thing for baby turtles. They're so adorable. But anyway, I thought it's good to like show determination and taking action, you know, because he would have just recently been... It loops, so... He's not back on the beach again. He made it into the ocean. He made it. But I looped it because it was so short. So, but anyway, I thought maybe this was a good inspiration for being determined and taking action. Because these baby turtles, when they're on their way to the ocean for the first time, they've just hatched from eggs like recently, but they're like, I'm gonna do it. So I don't know. It might not be the most empowering image for you for determination, but maybe it is. It's cute either way. But it's nice to see that he makes it. Come on, there we go. Alrighty, so you can let me know if in the comments or the survey if the baby turtle video inspired you or not. All right. So, oh, someone says, love the turtle clip. I was lucky to watch a soft shell female dog. Oh, dig, you probably mean. I was lucky to watch a soft shell female turtle dig and place her eggs. I've never touched a turtle egg, but I had to cover them up, and so I touched the shell edge. Dig, yeah. Alrighty, well, that's nice. So newbie info, if you have no idea who I am, my name is Janet Wright. I'm a reader and healer, and I teach energy healing as well as, you know, for free online as I'm doing the healings. And I will be healing a group of a lot of people, 120 people in 10 different countries that purchased this set of healings in advance on my website, jwhealing.com. And so you're welcome to purchase a future set of healings. But for this one, if you haven't bought it, just... you can watch and heal yourself as you watch. Because for the most part, except for the first minute or two, I do say out loud what I'm doing as I do it. So it could function as an all levels self-healing walkthrough if you want. If you're a motivated newbie or you're advanced, you know, there should be lots of fun, interesting parts. And within a day or a day and a half, I make video chapters so you can see, you know, and jump around easily. And then I also post a healing outline in the comment section so you can see at a glance what we did. And sometimes I make excerpt videos. So there will be little short videos clipped out of this giant live stream. And if I make those, you know, I post them. And so if you're subscribed, then you'll see that they're posted. They'll also be in the short video playlist, which is linked in the info section of this live stream, and also featured on my YouTube channel page, short video playlist. I think I call it shorter videos, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's enough. So okay, so now I'll do a minute or two of quiet as I finish my prep and say hello to the people that I'll be healing. I'll say hello to them quietly, telepathically, just on a spirit level, so that they're for sure aware that the healing is about to start and they can make the most of the opportunity. Okay, thanks for waiting. So we're going to do grounding first, recreate your groundings and unblock them. And then we will do some direct healing on gallbladder and liver meridians to help with decisiveness and a lot more. And also unblock your auras in a way that will especially help those two meridians. And then we'll do a little wrap up and I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so grounding, just recreate both your groundings, make them big and wide as all your auras, wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And then you can make a copy out in front of you of your everything. All your auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside and right in the middle of all your auras. And then your groundings, bring them up high so they go as high as your third chakra, right below your sternum. And make them wide all around and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. So comb through those groundings you just made. You can test the color of your groundings really quickly. So make both your groundings red and see how they release when they're both red. And then make both your groundings orange and see how they release when your groundings are orange. And then make both your groundings yellow and see how they release now. And you don't have to see energy, just use your intuition or, experience what it's like. It's fine. So then, choose which of the 3 colors for your groundings works the best right now. And then use gold light for your hands, right? With your intention, set your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras to be a metallic gold color, like this glitter, right? And so then your hands are going to generate gold light as those chakras spin. They're going to be generating gold light. So then you just use gold light from one hand to unblock and repair and heal the other hand, which is especially useful not only because you want to unblock those chakras so they work better and they generate more energy, but also because you have meridians that begin or end in your fingers. Not these 2 that will be working especially, but lots of important meridians begin or end in your fingers. So it's really good to make this area of your body very happy. So, and you could do direct healing like I was just doing, or you can make a copy out in front of you of each of your 2 hands and use gold light and heal your hands by healing the copies out in front of you. So then indie grounding is where you use gold light up and down the outer surface of your groundings and melt away any attachments from your grounding to other people's grounding. Indie standing for independent grounding. And then you can scoop together all the energy blocks in your grounding and run so much gold light through them. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are cording these energy blocks? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then keep using gold light, melt cords from people going into these energy blocks. And then melt the blocks. Or blow them up at that point. It's fine too. So again, scoop together energy blocks in your grounding. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording these blocks? Keep using gold light, melt cords from people. Melt the blocks. So you want to make sure that your grounding is flowing really well all the way down to the core of the earth. So like you could compare the left side, how well that releases with the right side, or the front and the back, or the core part. It's just by comparing, sometimes you'll notice blocks that you wouldn't have otherwise noticed. So just keep using gold light, surround the energy blocks in so much gold light that they melt. And just doing that may have kicked out some invasive beings out of your space, which is great. But they may just be like lurking around outside of your space, like looking for another opportunity to get back in. So I call them lurkers. So just look to, like if you imagine yourself, look to see if there are any lurkers outside of your space. And just say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? Alrighty. So that's probably good enough for grounding for now. So then let's do the gallbladder and liver meridian. And the interesting thing about these two, not only are they paired meridians, so one complements the other, one is yin and one is yang, and they specifically support each other, but also one flows into the other. So this is actually not the right order. Let me fix the order. Hold on one sec. Yeah, there we go. I think I fixed it. Okay. Yeah, I did. So this is the gallbladder meridian. It starts by the eye there. And it zigzags a lot on the side of the head and goes up to the forehead. And then it goes down and zigzags down the side of the body and ends in the foot. So go ahead and just, you could do a little direct healing. Well, don't want to do direct healing. Yeah, just imagine a copy of yourself and don't fixate on like, just with your intention, have the gold light go to this gallbladder meridian. Okay, so in the side of the head and the neck and all down the side of the body, like you're seeing there, side of the leg, and it ends in the toe, one of your toes. See right there? And then the liver meridian right there, it's the bright green. So you can do some quick direct healing on that. How it starts in the big toe, zigzags up the inner part of the leg. And then it goes to the side of the body. So now what we could do is unblock, comb through. So imagine this, it's doing the gallbladder meridian again, which basically just goes from the side of the head all the way down the side of the body, right? And then ends in one of the toes. So just imagine a copy of yourself and comb through all those gallbladder points with gold light. So you're unblocking and just have that intention that you're doing what's healthy and gentle to do right now. And comb through those gallbladder points out into the auras and catch up any energy blocks in your auras that are in the way, that kind of suppressing in an unhealthy way this gallbladder meridian, the flow in it, right? So just become aware of those energy blocks as you comb through the gallbladder points, become aware of that, and then just mindfully clear those blocks. Okay, so you're aware of the gallbladder meridian, the blocks in your auras that suppress that gallbladder meridian, and then just run gold light through those blocks. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting into these blocks? And then run gold light through the blocks, melt cords from people out of these blocks. And melt the blocks fully. Just take a deep breath, breathe into your toes, breathe into the side of your head, side of your body. So we'll do that one again, the gallbladder meridian, melting the blocks that are suppressing the gallbladder meridian in your auras. So I'll just let the video go through that gallbladder meridian pathway, starting by your eye, the outer part of the side of your head, basically, and then the side of your body, right? So comb through all those gallbladder meridian points and outward to your auras, and just become aware with your intuition and your hands of the blocks that suppress the gallbladder meridian, and then just use gold light and run that through them. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Gold light, melt cords from people, and melt the blocks. Again, these are blocks that are suppressing your gallbladder meridian. Deep breath. And if they're not clearing, just say, angels, help me clear these. Right? Okay, so then now let's let it continue so that it does the liver meridian. And we'll do the same thing with the liver meridian. So the liver meridian, remember, it starts by the big toe, like it's showing you there, and then continues up the inner part of the leg, and then ends in the side of the body, right? So just comb through those points outward into the auras and find any blocks that are suppressing your liver meridian that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. Run gold light through the blocks. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting these blocks? And melt quartz from people going into these blocks. And melt the blocks. Deep breath. So I want to go back to that liver meridian and do it again. There we go. So again, liver meridian, we've already directly healed it. It starts in the toe, goes up inner leg, ends in the side of the body, right? So just comb through all those liver meridian points, comb outward, find any energy blocks suppressing your liver meridian that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. Run gold light through them. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting these blocks? Deep breath. Melt cords from people going into these blocks. And melt the blocks. All right. So it kept going. All right. So let's see. Now we'll just do a little bit extra. We'll do the gallbladder meridian as a river. So again, the gallbladder one is the one showing right now. And that's the one that most directly helps with decisiveness. So side of head and then side of body all the way down to the toe. So imagine your gallbladder meridian as one river. And just notice the flow. You can notice how it was before you did what you just did, all that work, and then how it is now. So, and then you can just go a step further and find some of those blocks that are there right now in this river representing your gallbladder meridian and just run gold light through them. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this unblocking? Melt cords from people going into the blocks and melt the blocks. You can also, as you're imagining this river representing your gallbladder meridian, you can just lift out the blocks that are in the way of your taking action and decisiveness. Lift out those blocks. And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And melt cords from people with gold light and melt the blocks. Okay, and then we'll do that same thing, imagining as a river and unblocking the river for the liver meridian. And I'll let the video play as we do that one. So you imagine one river representing your liver meridian, right? Starts in the toe, goes all the way up to the side of the body, but we can just imagine it as one river. And look for blocks. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Melt the people out of the blocks and melt the blocks. Right? So again, imagine your liver meridian starts in the toe, the big toe, and goes up the inner leg, ends in the side of the body, like it's showing right there. And just imagine it as one river. Imagine some blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear. Run gold light through those blocks. Angels, can you recycle invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Deep breath and use gold light. Melt cords from people going into these blocks and melt the blocks. All right. Good job. Good job. So then now we'll just wrap up with a little 3-step process. So as I said once as we were working, that as you get more present, you work your energy, you repair, you unblock, you'll be getting more present, and therefore you'll be knocking out of the way some invasive beings, and some of them might still hang around outside your space, kind of waiting for another opportunity to come in. So you just imagine yourself and imagine if there are any invasive beings sort of waiting around. And I call them lurkers, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? And I think some people who have a lot of backlash when they're growing and changing and getting these healings and healing themselves, they may be underestimating how much more present they're getting and how many more invasive beings they're just kicking out of their space. And so I think they're not looking for recycling lurkers maybe as much as they could. And if they did do that more often, maybe like if you meditate twice a day, at least you do that twice a day, check for lurkers. I could check several times within a meditation if I remember. It would be good to do. So anyway, so again, imagine yourself, imagine if there are any lurkers around outside your space, and say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? And then STEBs are stubborn triggered energy blocks. So put any energy blocks that are triggered, bothering you on any level, conscious or subconscious, put those out in front of you or copies of them out in front of you, and just use a lot of gold light, run the gold light through those energy blocks, melt cords from people going into these blocks. You can say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these blocks right now? And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into these blocks? And then just keep using gold light, melt everybody out, melt all the people's cords out, and melt the blocks or blow them up. Okay, and then blue soak for your mind is using blue earth energy to soak your mind. And you can imagine your mind however you want, like a river, like 2 gardens, like a forest, like a tree, whatever. So however you imagine your mind, and then bring up blue earth energy from the core of the earth and soak your mind in blue earth energy. And just let that center you and help you to feel good. So you can use gold light, run that through your mind, and also the blue earth energy. All right, good job. We should celebrate more than that. All right, good job, good job. Woohoo, yay. Maybe we'll celebrate with a little baby turtle too. All right, so good job. You were determined just like the baby turtle. Good job, good job. Now you can go forth and take action and swim in your ocean just like the baby turtle. Come on, you can make it, little guy. You can do it. You're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there. Come on. Come on. Yay, he made it. All right, good job. Of course, it's looped, so. But he did make it. We'll do another one, I guess, since he's already looping. Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. Come on. There we go. All right, cool. Do, 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 do. Okay, so now we'll do aura repair. So you can imagine a copy out in front of you of all your auras. Your auras are all around you, right? Your physical body and your astral body are right in the center of all those auras. And just comb through a copy of all your auras out in front of you and look for rips. If you have a headache, it's pretty guaranteed that you have rips, unless your diet is really off or your blood sugar is too low, which lowers your energy boundaries. But then you would still get aura rips if you have a headache. So anyway, it's easy to get rips in your auras. So go ahead and just check that out. See if you need aura repair. And when in doubt, yes, you do. So just make an image of a rip and have that represent all the rips that you currently have in all your auras. And then you can use sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands, and fill it up with sticky gold wax, which sticks to everything that's not you. So you can lift all that out as a lump and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk in the way as a big chunk and give it to your angels. To angels, here you go. So that would be removing invasive beings, invasive people, and also hard objects that got thrown at you. So then now, as you use gold light, get it as deep as you can in there, it should start to repair your auras. All right, so let's do that process one more time, because it probably did repair most of the rips, what you just did, but we'll do it again for any leftover rips, right? So just imagine an image of a rip and just say, with your intention, this represents any leftover rips that you still have in all your auras, and then do the same process. But if you're at home, there is a more like wow version that is a little too noticeable to do in public. It might attract invasive being energy if you're out and about and like in some parking lot doing it in your car. But if you're at home, that's fine. So the wow version is you have your composite copy rip representing your leftover rips, and then just blast it with so much gold light from your hands. Gold fire. And just use so much gold light that you just burn everything out that's not you. The hard objects, any crusty energy blocks in the way. Just keep using so much gold light. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, any invasive beings that just jumped out of the way, can you recycle them? And then as you use so much gold light, it just starts growing back. And even the gold mesh spheres start growing back, which are parts of the Wei Qi auras. They generate lots of gold light within some of your auras. So just lots of gold light so that everything repairs. All right, and then you can, but if you don't like the wow version, you could just do the regular version with sticky gold wax that we already did. So then you just have a copy out in front of you of all your auras, and you check the outer surface. Make sure you didn't miss anything. Sometimes there might be a couple hard objects that you miss that you can kind of feel along the outer surface, or a couple leaks that you can feel. So if you have anything like that, just pop out the hard objects, let them destroy as they pop out. Use gold light and just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this repair? And again, if you see any other areas that are still gashed up, just use so much gold light and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this repair? And again, check for lurkers, any invasive beings that have popped out of your space, but they're still in the mood to make trouble. And so they're kind of hanging out nearby. So imagine yourself and look for any lurkers anywhere near you and say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? All right. So now let's do So now we'll do your creative rings, which are above your head, 1, 2, 3. They are part of your astral body energy system. So they come and go with you as a spirit. Like when you go to sleep at night, you know, they're up on the astral with you, with your astral body. But when you're present, they're very important. They help, like you want them to be generating gold light, unblocked and repaired, so that your energy, if they're unblocked, then your energy from your 7th chakra can go upward through them. And then you bring in new positive change energy. One of the pathways is through the creative rings into your 7th chakra. So you just make a copy out in front of you of your 3 gold creative rings and comb through them. Check for if the flaps are open. That's always a good warning sign to see. If the flaps are open, then it's in an irritated state. So something's going on. So that's what it looks like when the flaps are open. And so that is an irritated state. That's a view from the top down of one of your creative rings. So just keep using gold light, melt cords from people going into these rings. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings courting these creative rings, can you recycle them? And if your flaps won't close, you probably still have some invasive beings, maybe above them or around them, that are like jamming the flaps open. So you can just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my creative rings, can you please recycle them? And you can have hard objects stuck in the creative rings. So you could just, with your intention, pop those out and have those hard objects destroy, and then do some repair. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? And unblock the inside of the creative rings. You want it just to be empty space so that your energy can flow through that space. So the middle of the creative rings, if there are any blocks, just use gold light, melt them all away. Unblock above your creative rings, below your creative rings. Also, you can spread them out, so they're separate, 1, 2, 3, and then you can also flip them over. So you see the undersides, and you can use both hands to heal each one of them. So you're making sure you clean off all the surfaces with gold light. You could use also purple earth energy for your creative rings, because purple is the rainbow color closest to gold. Gold earth energy would kind of not make sense, because gold is too fast moving for earth energy. It would kind of undo the centering effects of earth energy. So just, you imagine your 3 gold rings, creative rings separate, 1, 2, 3, and then bring up purple earth energy straight from the core of the earth and soak each creative ring in purple earth energy. And then flip them back over so you see the front side of each, or you imagine if you can't see yet. And notice if there are any dark patches on your creative rings. Could be an invasive being. Angels, can you recycle that invasive being? Or could be just, some energy block from somebody. So just use lots of gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way? And just keep melting people out of the way until any kind of weirdness melts off of your creative rings. There can be stuff on the inside of the creative ring that shouldn't be there. So just lots of gold light, melt that off. All right. Good job, good job. So let's do chakra repair and unblocking. So we'll do all chakras at the same time. So all major chakras and minor chakras. So minor chakras is all the rest. So the major chakras are, 7 astral body chakras along your astral body spine and 7 physical body chakras along your physical body spine. So 2 sets of 7, those are your major chakras. But then any other chakra you have is a minor chakra. That's just my way of naming it to tell them apart. So acupuncture points, all those amazing acupuncture points everywhere that your body has, those fall into the minor chakra category, even though they're majorly important. So this is the basic chakra shape, right? So open cylinder, equally open on both ends. Why? Because it flows better and releases better that way. So just imagine an image of a chakra and say with your intention, okay, this represents all my chakras of my body and my spirit. And just use gold light. You could use red earth energy and saturate your chakras and melt away cords from other people going into these chakras. You could say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are cording these chakras? You can comb through the copy with your fingers. Comb through and drag out any blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear. So comb through the chakra and use so much gold light that you melt away cords from people going into these energy blocks. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording these blocks? And then just let the blocks melt away. So again, drag out of your composite copy chakra any blocks blocking up any of your chakras that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. Drag them out. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording these blocks? And use so much gold light, melt cords from people, and melt the blocks. And use a lot of gold light and repair. So damage could look like cracks around one of the round openings, or maybe a big scratch that doesn't belong there, or a gash anywhere from a hard object. So you could lift out the hard objects and just use so much gold light that they melt away. Lift out the hard objects. You could also just hand the hard objects to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the hard objects in your chakras. Angels, here you go. And then you can do more repair with gold light. Keep breathing while you do this. All right, good job, good job. So again, check for lurkers, right? Because that's a pretty good but really big thing you did, right? To repair and unblock all your chakras. So just imagine yourself like a big blob, all your auras and your physical body and your astral body and your groundings. And just imagine any invasive beings that have popped out because of your fabulous work, but they're still lurking about. And just say, angels, can you recycle all those invasive beings? Deep breath while your angels do that. All right, good job, good job. So now we'll do all the back of head stuff. So that is a view of the back of the head with the meridians, traditional Chinese medicine meridians showing there. And so specifically those, especially those 2 rows of points, that's what I like to make sure are fully repaired and unblocked. But the midline one, that GV meridian, you could do those extra points that go all the way up to the top of the head as well. But essentially, you just use gold light and red earth energy and soak these meridians in gold light and red earth energy and unblock. So each of those chakras, again, this is the basic chakra shape. So if the meridian's going up and down like that, then that's the orientation of the chakra because it fits right in the meridian, and it's, you know, its job is to keep energy flowing properly within the meridian. So just keep using gold light and unblock. Chakras, repair them. And the names of these meridians, if you are interested, could be from the outer to the inner would be our favorite today, gallbladder meridian, which helps with decisiveness. That's the green one. And then the yellow one is urinary bladder meridian. And then the center one is governing vessel meridian. Right. And you don't have to know the direction of flow in order to unblock them, but basically that midline one right there is going upward at that point, and the other 2, the yellow and the green, are going downward at that point. And there should be a 12 meridian playlist in the info section of this video or live stream. So you could watch videos, individual videos on each of these if you want. And you can comb through these points and outward into the auras and gather up any energy blocks that are suppressing these meridians, the flow in these meridians, and just be aware of those energy blocks and run gold light through them and just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hoarding these blocks? And keep using gold light, melt people out of these blocks, melt their cords. Yeah, just keep using so much gold light that the blocks melt. All right, so again, comb through these meridians in your base of skull area, back of head area, and your neck too while you're at it. Comb through and comb out into the auras and be aware of all the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to melt right now that would help those meridians. And run so much gold light through them. Say, angels, can you recycle invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And melt people out, melt their cords, and melt the blocks. You can do a little massage of the back of your head, make a big red grounding just for the back of your head and the back of your neck. And sometimes there are invasive beings that are kind of like half in, half out. So you can ask your angels to specifically recycle those angels if there are any invasive beings half in or half out of half in and half out of this area. Can you recycle them? All right. So then the other part of the back of head stuff is good karma windows. Good karma windows. Good karma windows. And these are in the back here. So I guess we could just maybe don't really need the facet joints showing, but the image of a. So it's back, they're back here, right? Good karma windows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? And they're in the astral body aura layers back here. So those layers wrap all the way around you. You have 7 layers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little triple frame windows back here. And you need those to be repaired and unblocked so that you can bring in positive change energy through them into your major chakras. So just check each one, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And sometimes some of them are smashed up. And so just use so much gold light that they repair. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my good karma windows, can you recycle them? And sometimes there are some invasive beings kind of woven in through them that have anchored into your major chakras or your base of skull point chakras. So it's kind of like if you're in a garden and you're weeding, you grip the weed, but then you also want to grip the roots of the weed and get it all out at once, right? And give it, put it in a weed bucket and then do what you want with it. But so here we're going to just grab any invasive being energy that's in your windows, your good karma windows area, and any that has anchored in to your, all your chakras, and just grab it all at once. Freeze it, drag it out. Angels, here you go. So grip it if there's any in your good karma windows area, grip it if there's any in your upper chakras, and freeze it all with your intention, drag it out. Angels, here you go. And if you're not sure if you've fully repaired and unblocked all your good karma windows, you can make a composite copy too of your good karma windows. So then it looks just like one of them, but it represents all of them. So, and again, that's the good karma window shape. So you just imagine one image that represents all 7 of them and repair and unblock that. As you repair and unblock this composite copy image, you're repairing and unblocking all of them. So melt the cords from people. The angels can recycle any invasive beings messing with these karma windows. And look for any cracks or missing pieces and just use so much gold light. The 2 angels help me repair this area. All right, good enough. So you can let go of that composite copy image. All right. So good job, good job, good job. Woohoo! All right, so we finished the 5 essentials, which is nice. Can't skip those. And of course, if you're meditating on your own and you're freestyling, you're not using any walkthrough, you can you can just use your intuition. Maybe one of those 5 essentials is fine, so you can skip to the other one, and that's why sometimes in some of the videos I will, in these long videos for sure, I'll do video chapters, but also I put video chapters just recently in the 5 essentials experienced version video. There's like a 17-minute video that's experienced version, and that one now has video chapters. So if you just need, creative ring work, you can skip right to it. So that was a little bit of a news headline, I guess, a little bit. So I added video chapters to that short video, experienced version 5 essentials. Okie doke. Because the whole point of that video is to be very time efficient. And so you know, if you don't need something, you don't need it. You can skip ahead. But obviously freestyling is nice for that too, because then you can just do only what you need. Freestyling meaning not using a walkthrough, just doing it by memory. Okay. So you could check your grounding, recreate it if you need to, comb through it, a copy of it out in front of you, make sure it's really nice and flowing and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Like really wide as all your auras, all the way down. If it's not, just find where it sort of cinches in and use lots of gold light and melt the blocks so that it expands again. So again, find the part of your grounding that gets too narrow. Use so much gold light so that it expands. All right. So, go ahead and imagine out in front of you some kind of visual representation for the baggage that is making it hard for you to be decisive, make decisions, have insight on what you need to do, and take action. So you can represent that baggage any way you want, like just literal as a bunch of, flat pieces of blocked energy, or metaphorically, as like a swamp of doom, or a haunted forest or something. However you want to represent your take action baggage, what's holding you back, keeping you from taking action and being decisive. And then, so however you've represented it, just use lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, soak the take action baggage in red earth energy, gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting all this junk? And then melt cords from people going into this baggage. You can notice, as you're using gold light, is there one person in particular who's courting this baggage the most? Usually it's a whole bunch of people. But sometimes it's interesting to see, like sort of intuit as you're clearing people out, who was there courting the baggage. So then as you wash everybody out, then you keep using gold light and just let the baggage melt fully. Or you could blow it up once you've gotten everybody out. So then we have another way of clearing take action baggage I mentioned that we would do, which is the CNS-ENS unblocking. So CNS is your brain and your spinal cord. And then ENS is, we'll call it your gut. But it's like all the nerve cells in your digestive system, from your esophagus all the way down to your rectum. And for reference, your brain has about 86 billion neurons, which are the primary nerve cells in the central nervous system. So that's 86 billion, your brain and your spinal cord. And then the nervous system, the enteric nervous system, so your gut has 2 layers of more than 1 million nerves, 100 million nerve cells. So in your gastrointestinal tract. So we have 86 billion, and then we have 100 million. So still a lot. Fun fact. So anyway, just imagine, however you want to imagine, like we can imagine brain guy. Maybe that helps your imagining. I don't know if that helps. So there's brain guy. So you can imagine just first your central nervous system, CNS, your brain and your spinal cord, and just comb through it with gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, gold light, and just notice where the energy blocks are that get in the way of you taking action and being decisive. And just run gold light through them. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording these blocks? And melt cords from people going into these blocks, and then melt the blocks. Alternatively, you can, again, with your brain and your spinal cord, move out the blocks that are in the way of you taking action and being decisive that are in your central nervous system. And then, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Deep breath. And then melt the cords from people out of these blocks. And melt the blocks. Deep breath. Breathe into all your major joints. All right, and for your gut, the enteric nervous system, ENS, I don't particularly have a good image for that. But anyway, just imagine your digestive tract out in front of you. So esophagus all the way down to your rectum area all the way. So small intestine, large intestine, stomach, esophagus, all that good stuff, right? And just imagine any energy blocks that are in the way of you being decisive and taking action. Any blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of in the way of that decisiveness and taking action. And move out those energy blocks, put them to the side, and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Keep using gold light, melt cords from people going into these blocks, and melt the blocks. Or blow them up. Okay, so again, imagine your enteric nervous system, your digestive tract, right? And this time you could melt the blocks in place if you want, or move them out like we did before. But just imagine any energy blocks in the way of you taking action and being decisive that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Run gold light through them. You can bring up red earth energy, soak them. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And melt cords from people going into these blocks. And just out of curiosity, you can notice who's cording them. Probably a lot of people, but you can notice one or two people just for keep it interesting. And just keep use gold light, melt everybody out, and melt the blocks. Or blow them up. All right, good job. So then, you do want the CNS to communicate with ENS and vice versa, right? Central nervous system, enteric nervous system. You want energy to flow, communication to flow between them without being mucked up with fear and avoidance and, childhood baggage or past life baggage or whatever, right? So you want like your gut to be on board and your brain to be on board with you taking action, right? So if there's any unhealthy energy blocks, well, that's redundant, any energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of in that system, right? So you can imagine them just as a red flowing line, one red flowing line for your central nervous system, your brain and your gut, your brain and your spinal cord, and one red line for your enteric nervous system, all the digestive tract nerve cells. And just run gold light through both of those systems. Imagined as simple red lines, right? And run gold light in between the two systems because you really need them to be able to communicate well. So melt away any baggage that's interfering with the communication. And just imagine any blocks in either of these systems that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, that are in the way of you taking action and being decisive. And just run gold light through them. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Keep using gold light. Melt people out of the blocks. And melt the blocks. Or blow them up. Couple deep breaths. Breathe into your brain and your gut. And all your major joints. Check your groundings. Have a copy out in front of you of both of your groundings, the one for your physical body energy system and the one for your astral body energy system. And use lots of gold light. Make sure both groundings are very wide as all your auras. Wide all the way down to the core of the earth. If they bunch up at any point, use an extra gold light so you unbunch them. Another way you could imagine CNS and ENS. Another way you can imagine, let's see, do I have an image? I don't think I have an image of it. No. But you know how the surface of water looks, right? So you can imagine like a calm body of water, like a calm lake, and how, you know, the surface of the water is nice and peaceful and smooth, right? So you can imagine your brain and your gut like two different bodies of water that are right next to each other and communicating with each other. And, you know, each one, imagine that it should be like that smooth, peaceful body of water with the nice surface of the water that's smooth and peaceful. And you want to notice if it's not, if there's some kind of little tornado going on or somebody's smack in the water surface, right? So we're doing this so we can look to see any deviation in the healthy level of peace and harmony that you want in both systems, right? So imagine by the surface of water. So nice peaceful surface of water for your central nervous system and your enteric nervous system. Just imagine those two bodies of water, the surface, and just enjoy the peaceful calmness. And if there's any sort of tornadoes or, you know, little hurricanes going on, just say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? Chances are it's an invasive being. If it's not, if it's still there, it could be a person, in which case you could just say, angels, can you haul this person out of my mind or my gut? Worst case, you could do it yourself. Just surround that person in gold light. So don't harm them in any way, but just, you know, make a nice protective gold bubble around them and hand that whole thing to your angels. Angels, here you go. So gather up any people that are interfering with your brain or your gut, right? And just wrap them up in gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So again, heal the tranquility and the harmony of your brain and your gut, right? Like a calm, peaceful surface of body of water. And look for anything that's not that way. And say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? Deep breath. And if there's anything still doing that, like making a ruckus, is probably invasive people. So then just wrap them up in gold light and hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So again, just enjoy that calm surface of the water, representing the harmony and the tranquility of your central nervous system and your enteric nervous system, your brain and spine, and your digestive tract. Deep breath and breathe into your whole body and just feel, resonate with that serenity, that harmony. And allow that to grow, like nurture that serenity, nurture that harmony. All right. Good job. Good job. Woo! Yeah. All right. So now we're doing our unblock so you get good info section. And that'll have two parts to it. And one part is this. We're going to just clear baggage so that you can hear your angels more accurately, because that is priceless. And you can hear your angels subconsciously, meaning like you hear it as your own thought and you don't realize consciously that that's actually your angel's advice. But usually it's like the smartest option that you're considering is the one that your angels just told you. So anyway, so let's, so you can make a big old blanket out in front of you and pile onto it any inner baggage, anything in your space that gets in the way, that distorts you hearing your angels accurately, or maybe just makes it so that you're not conscious of the angel messages. So any baggage in the way of you hearing your angels as much as possible and as accurately as possible, right? And just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? Use gold light, melt cords from people going into all this baggage. And as you melt everybody out, keep using gold light to melt all the baggage or blow it all up. One more time, big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it copies of any inner baggage that you have, anything, dumped energy from other people, anything that is in the way of you hearing your angels more and more accurately and more consciously, right? And just use so much gold light. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this baggage or this junk? Keep using gold light, melt cords from people, and melt all the blocks or blow them up. All right. Good job. Good job. So that was one way. So then we'll do the other thing for wisdom unblocking, which is unblocking your 7th to 8th connection. So that one, I have a very, very, very simplistic diagram. So that bucket-like shape right there at the bottom, that's your 7th chakra in the top of your head. right? So the orientation is this way. Energy flows in the bottom and out the top, but if you're bringing in new energy, it comes in this way. So, but anyway, so this is your 7th chakra, right? So it's in your head and the top of your head, going right there. And then there's a gold flowing connection between your 7th chakra all the way up beyond the top of your aura, your 8th chakra, which looks like a big gold sun. If your higher self is really interested in what you're doing, then it's only a foot above the top of your auras. But if you're doing something kind of vapid and meaningless, then your 8th chakra may be like 7, 8, 9 feet above the top of your aura. But either way, you want that connection between your 8th chakra and your 7th chakra to be very flowing and unblocked and repaired. Because as I show in that diagram right there, there could be hard objects stuck in that connection and causing a leak. And you might have some invasive beings kind of making trouble there. So you can get a sense of that flowing connection from your 7th up to your 8th and see, are there any hard objects there? If so, move all the hard objects out, blow them all up, use gold light. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? And just keep repairing. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of the repair? All right. And just see, okay, so can the gold light from your 8th chakra sending down healing energy and internal wisdom, can that come all the way down without colliding into a traffic jam of baggage in this connection? So here comes your wisdom, gold light's coming down. Whoop! There are 3 big blocks maybe. So just melt the blocks that are in the way, because your information can come through the baggage, but it might distort it. So maybe that's why you always think, oh, there's no point to anything. Definitely your higher self is not telling you that. Your higher self is trying to send you down like inspiration, different ideas of how you've solved the same problem in like 4 different past lives, but it's hitting this baggage that says, but I'm a loser, and so then all the ideas you get are tainted with that baggage, right? So we don't want that, right? So just find the baggage in your 7th to 8th connection that keeps making everything like wah, wah. Nothing works, everything's terrible, too bad I'm a loser. Just find that stuff and no more, right? No more. Get rid of all of that. So clear all that baggage in your 7th to 8th connection. No way. All the baggage that says, it'll never work, I'm so stupid, whatever it says, get rid of all of that. Melt it away. You want just the good info from your 8th chakra to come down in its pure form, right? Just nice gold light without all the blah, right? To make it all the way to your 7th chakra. All right, good job. Very good job. And so that was so good that we can also do our little 3-step process, because we've been doing a lot and maybe we knocked out a bunch. And so it's a nice way to recenter. So our little 3 steps is first, recycle any lurkers. So you imagine a copy of yourself and, you probably got a lot more present in all the work you did. And you could have knocked out invasive beings that were in your space and now they're lurking about outside of your space, looking for opportunities to make trouble. So just say, angels, can you recycle all those invasive beings? And if you notice a couple more, say, angels, can you recycle those invasive beings? No lurkers allowed. Right? Okay, so then STEB, stubborn triggered energy blocks. So make a big gold blanket out from you, pile onto it anything that's triggered within your space. Any energy block that's triggered for any reason, maybe for political reasons, economic reasons, something I said, you never know. Just pile all of it out in front of you. Say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through the piles. Then use gold light, run that through the piles. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into these blocks? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then now you can do the rest. You can melt the cords from people going into these blocks. Wash everybody out. Wash your own resistance, avoidance, and denial out. And keep using gold light till they all melt. Or you could blow them all up. And if any didn't melt, just wrap them up in gold light. Hand them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? Okay, and then the blue soak for your mind. Imagine your mind however you please. So you can imagine them as bodies of water, as forests, as beaches, as gardens, separate ones for your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, or just imagine it as one thing, one tree, one forest, one garden, whatever. And just bring up blue earth energy straight from the core of the earth and soak your mind in the blue earth energy. And use gold light to melt blocks in your mind in the way of your decisiveness and your taking action. And while you're at it, melt blocks in your mind in the way of your confidence and identity, positive identity. So again, scoop together any blocks in your mind that are healthy and gentle to get rid of in the way of your decisiveness and taking action. Melt those, and any blocks in the way of you having a positive identity and confidence, and run gold light through those. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you recycle them? Melt cords from people and melt the blocks. All right, good job, good job. Woohoo! Hey, good job. One more time. So I'm going to take a look at the people I'm healing and see if we really do need to go through an actual explicit step to unblock the spiritual path, or if what we did sufficiently unblocked the spiritual path for now. So I'm just going to be quiet for a minute while I look at that. And what I generally look at is not like, okay, is your path ahead of you like perfect? I'm looking at, are you moving forward at a really good pace? Because if you're not, then that could be that the path is blocked. So then I look to see if it's like roadblocked ahead of you or not. But first, I'm just looking at you on your path, and are you moving forward at a nice, smooth forward pace? So that's kind of interesting. It doesn't look like people need that, any explicit unblocking of the spiritual path right now. So that's nice. You could look at how blocked was your spiritual path like a couple hours ago today, and how blocked is it, were you moving forward on your path a couple hours ago, and how did that look? And are you moving forward on your path now, and how does that look? You could do a little bit if you want, just give that little part of you a healing that you see on your path with gold light, and unblock the path in front of you and make it even easier for you to move forward than it already is now. And melt some burdens that you're trying to drag forward with you that are behind you. Melt those burdens away, any unhealthy burdens. All right, good enough. Okay, so this is just the last couple things that we're going to do in this healing. We're almost done. So the first thing is we're going to heal far off parts of you that have just taken off and flown the coop a long time ago. Maybe, well, could be just this morning. But sometimes they're from a long time ago, or, you know, a month ago, or a past life. It's just a time, for some reason, something wasn't going your way, and part of you was like, well, I'm out of here, forget it. You know? But, and so those parts of you don't necessarily come back when things get better and you get braver and stronger. So you kind of have to give them the memo, you know, and give them a little healing so they want to come back, and they're, you know, you have a lot more energy typically. Because otherwise you kind of get that sort of avoidant sort of brain fog potentially from these parts of you, because they're still a part of you. It's just they're just far, far away. So just imagine the part of you that's here, you know, in and around your body. Hopefully that's most of you. And then imagine the far, far off parts of you that have just, you know, left due to whatever. They didn't want to deal. They were being avoidant. And just give them a healing. Just say, hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. And just lots of gold light. You can say, angels, help me heal these parts of me. And, you know, angels, if there are any invasive beings, you know, messing with these parts of me, these far off parts, can you recycle those beings? Deep breath. Breathe into your body. And typically what'll happen is, you know, you'll see that energy start to come back, you know, a bit like glitter, you know, coming back to you in different rainbow colors, you know, a bit like that. It'll just start coming back to you. And so that's good. So it doesn't have to come back all at once, you know, but as long as it's starting to come back, you know, that part, those parts of you are starting to come back, then that's what you want. And again, if big chunks of you are out there, just be like, hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. And again, say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? All right, good job. And then I was noticing, you know, it's possible to have made agreements that are basically unhealthy, and maybe they didn't seem so unhealthy back when you made them. But you could have unhealthy agreements in the way of you taking action and doing things that are really good for you. So go ahead and imagine any unhealthy agreements that you have that are in the way of your taking action, your identity, your confidence, your decisiveness. And you can imagine these agreements like pieces of paper, or, you know, scrolls of rolled up paper, or however else you want to imagine these agreements, right? And just say, angels, can you help me update and or clear these agreements? You know, can you help me clear any agreements that are not in my best interests? And just, you know, use lots of gold light. And, you know, you can even, you know, say affirmations to yourself as you're doing it. Like, I really want to, you know, be healthy. I want to be as healthy as possible. I want to make the most of my life. You know, I want to be able to take action and be decisive and have positive identity. I want to be able to have confidence. And I just let all these agreements, you know, maybe some of them will just update and then they're healthy and the rest, you know, fully melt. And if any are left over, you can just wrap them up in gold light and say, angels, can you help make sure these are healthy for me? All right, so just comb through everything, comb through your spine, center your chakras, align your chakras, get your 7th chakras where you want them to be. Let the 6 chakras click into alignment with your 7th, 5th, 4th. Just use gold light until they click into alignment. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st chakra. Unblock your legs really quickly with gold light. Unblock all your auras to the extent that's healthy and gentle. And again, check for those lurkers, right? Imagine yourself. Imagine any invasive beings that you've knocked out that are still looking for trouble. And just say, angels, can you recycle all those beings? And we'll do the other 2 wrap-up steps as well. So we did the recycle lurkers, so then clear STEBs, pile onto blanket any energy blocks that are triggered for you right now. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And you melt cords from people and melt the blocks. And then instead of a blue soak for your mind, let's just do a tricolor earth energy soak. So that's for everything, right? Because red and orange and yellow earth energy, those are good to do a full soak with. Those are fine because those are good for your lower chakras as well. So make your groundings both red and bring up red earth energy. Up. Soak everything in red earth energy. Deep breath. It's okay to receive. It's okay to let go. All right, bring that down and make your groundings both orange and use them like orange straws. Bring up orange earth energy. Up. Soak everything in orange earth energy. Deep breath. Bring that down and make your groundings yellow and use them like a big yellow straws and bring up yellow earth energy. Up. Soak everything in yellow earth energy. Deep breath. It's okay to receive. It's okay to be healed. It's okay to take action. Right? And then you could leave up that earth energy soak if you want. Change it to whichever red or orange or yellow works best for you right now. Or you can bring it down to your normal grounding height at the 3rd chakra. And again, change it to whichever of those 3 colors works best for you right now. All right. So as we wrap up, you can just say, angels, can you please help me to take action, help me with my identity and my confidence and my decisiveness. Deep breath as your angels give you a little healing on that. And angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? All right, good job. That's a healing. You're a rock star. Woo, 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 woo. Yay. Okay, so that's a healing. So I will do a quick chit chat afterwards, after a break. But let's take a break first. So Okie doke. So, that is a nice image. So I'll just leave that image up while I take a quick restroom break, and you can feel free to take a break as well, of course. And then I'll be right back. I am back. So I'm just gonna do stretching for a moment, and then we'll do our little chit chat. Okay, I'm back. Hello, hello. Hope you had a good break. I actually cheated. I did more than a bathroom break. I made a protein shake for myself. Hope you forgive me. Oh, right. So I'm gonna look for comments I haven't read yet. Thank you everybody for your comments, and if you haven't given it a thumbs up, the live stream, please do consider that. Someone says hi from sunny Portland, Oregon. Hello to you. Portland, Oregon, not far from me. Maybe 2 hours with traffic. Hi Janet and everyone from Chris. Oh, I don't like reading names. Sorry. From sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, 104 degrees. Well, hello to you. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I heard my angel once say no. That was probably your spirit guide. Angels, they, not that they can't say no, they do, but a lot of times the angels will say, no, don't do that. That's not a good idea. You know, you really shouldn't. And then you're just not hearing it. You're not hearing it. You're not hearing it. So then finally they're like, they go to your spirit guide, who spirit guides are a human being spirit. So they're, you know, like you and me, but they're just in between lifetimes and they're assigned to be your spirit guide. So since they're a human being spirit, they can, you can hear them more easily. So even if you're kind of stuck, you know, a spirit guide can get that message across often. So if you weren't hearing anything and then all of a sudden you hear no, it's probably your spirit guide. But that's super cool. Someone says, I keep asking my angel. Oh, let me make sure I see all the chat. Ugh, YouTube always shows me live top chat instead of all chat. Okay, so now I should be seeing everybody. Someone says, I keep asking my angels to be louder. Oh, because it's not easy to decipher myself from my angels, and it feels sometimes like a very small feeling thought. But it passes so quickly that I realize in retrospect that it may have been my angels. Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be nice if your angels could somehow be louder, but it's not really that they're not loud enough. It's that, you have some resistance to, it looks like you have resistance you resist your parents' advice, and it gets in the way of angel advice, because resistance is just really sloppy like that, just like repression. Repression is really sloppy. And so you might repress one thing, but it represses a whole bunch of other stuff too. So I think if you clear your resistance to advice, to hearing advice, you might hear your angels better. Also, angels, they talk at a different vibration. They're very loving and patient. And so if the vibe of your mind is kind of like, wah, life sucks, or, I'm terrified to do anything, kind of, if your mind isn't really on the right radio station, so to speak, you might not hear them. Or like you said, it might be so faint. So it's really, you have to change. Your angels don't have to change. Like, it's not like a thing that they would become less loving so you could hear them, You just have to work on being more accepting of loving advice from your angels, and like clear resistance to advice in general, so that you're not accidentally resisting your angels' advice. I have like a 3-minute video. It's kind of old, so I don't think it's not in the short video playlist. But if you search like Janet Wright healing, let's see, I'll put the video in the comment section, in the chat. I'll link it. I'll look it up now. It's an old 3-minute video where you imagine whatever's in between you and your angels that makes it harder for you to hear them. And just melt that wall. Measure it as a wall and melt the wall. Okay, so if I search Janet Wright, melt wall, hear angels, that's like a 22-minute video. Oh, that's a nice video though, but there we go. That's the 4-minute one I was thinking of. Okay. So it's a 4-minute video from how many years ago? 8 years ago. Yeah, melt, clear your wall, be more open to divine angel assistance and gold energy. So yeah, it's on your end, not on their end. So I mean, that's a nice idea if they could fix that problem for you, but I mean, you could say, angels, help me clear the baggage that's blocking me from hearing you consciously. That might be more productive, because just telling them to speak up louder it's not a thing. Like, it doesn't really make sense, considering that's not the problem. I mean, they could scream and you still, if you're blocked to like loving, divine acceptance, then you'd still be blocked to it. But anyway, there's hope. Just do the melt, imagine it as a wall and melt it, whatever's in your space blocking you from being consciously aware. But I mean, at least you hear them a little and you realize after the fact. I mean, that's something. It's a start. It's a good start. Someone gives nice emojis. Thank you. Someone says, thanks, Janet. Feeling neutral, a little tired, thinking about to-do lists. Am I in 7 through 2? How did my spouse and others do in the healing? Neutral, a little tired. You're bringing in a ton of new energy. from up top, which is good. So then you just want to notice like if there are blocks here, because sometimes if you're bringing a lot of new energy and there are some blocks, it like feels a little weird. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 4, fourth layer up there. I would unblock your fourth layer if you're watching this still. So your fourth layer and your third layer are a little chunky up there. So you could also unblock your fourth chakra and your third chakra, but maybe just unblocking up there would be enough. Your grounding is very nice. Everything's very nice. It's just that so much is coming in that it's kind of like if it's not really smooth up there, it feels a little like nap time. So right now you are in 7 through 2 right now. So your spouse and the others, your spouse is rocking it. He's moving forward really well right now. I'll just use initials. So JC is rocking it. She did well. AL is rocking it. CL is rocking it. KH from work. She's a little stuck. She has a lot of work people in her grounding right now still. But she's going to work with her angels on it. She did get a lot repaired today, but I don't know if she's still at work or something. She can't still be, well, maybe she's still at work. What do I know? But yeah, her grounding got a little too blocked today at work. So she releases a lot, but then it blocks up again. Then she releases a lot and then it blocks up again. So her angels are going to help her with that. GD from work. He's doing very well, moving forward, rocking it. BA from work. She's rocking it, moving forward quite well. She's like, this was nice. She's surprised, pleasantly surprised. LF from work. Yeah, she looks like she might be in bed right now. She's just sort of gliding forward peacefully. Her angels are happy about it. SA from work. He's doing well. He's not moving forward right now. He's just sort of having these deep thoughts. His angels like it though. It's some level of deeper repair that he's doing since the healing. But he does very much appreciate the healing and he got a lot repaired. So it's interesting. All right. Hope you caught all those initials and knew who I was talking about. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I was feeling completely exhausted before the healing, but now I feel really alert. I really like the gallbladder meridian work, as I seem to be pretty blocked there. I've been working fourth chakra and layers, fourth chakra and fourth layers for motivation, and notice these white/silver clamp things wrapped around both chakras. Oh, both fourth chakras that won't go away even when I clear agreements. Is there just a lot of them or am I missing something? Okay, so you're talking about your fourth chakras, gallbladder work, fourth. Yeah, okay. Well, the first thing I notice is your who is that? Your sister-in-law is like this really bright light in the front of your fourth layer on the right side. So I'm asking the angels to get her out. And then, yeah, there are some clips in the front, like at 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock. That is kind of weird. Give them to your angels. They were corded to your mom, so I melted the cords, got rid of them. Yeah, I'm noticing them on your astral body fourth too. I mean, I removed them from your physical fourth, and then I repaired afterwards. And then I'm removing them. I removed them from your astral body fourth chakra in the front, and then I'm repairing. Yeah, then you could just do some standard unblocking right in the front of both of your fourths, but I don't see the clips coming back. It could be just that your mom kept putting them back, because she did seem to be the one that was cording them. So I think that you just get new ones each time from your mom. Oh, your sister-in-law was there, but she didn't make those. Those seem to be from your mom. All right, so that helps. Hope they don't come back. Well, they won't come back. I mean, I guess if your mom makes them again, just get fast at getting rid of them. I mean, I think there's some energy blocks in the front right of your fourth layer that you're like avoiding. So then it's like an easy way for your mom and your sister-in-law to like hop in, and your sister. So I would say that's something you could challenge yourself with. Like, what are the blocks that are sort of like not so secret doorways that are secret to you because you don't want to see them in your fourth layer. So I would say that's what you're missing. Is that there's some blocks in your fourth layer that allow these women in your family to just hop right in and do their thing. I don't think there's any agreements though. It's just your own avoidance. Alrighty. Someone gives a lot of emojis. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're on this watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed the healing. I mean, I don't think I healed you, but I hope you enjoy the experience of following along. Someone says layered. Oh, I read that one. Someone says, I feel like I did a great job in this healing until the last 5 minutes where the back of my head and my lower back first chakra got blown out. I lost my place. I'll find it again. I wanted to make sure that you didn't say anything else. No, that's all you said. Okay. So yeah. I'm looking at the back left of your space. That's sort of the direction that the whack came from. So like back here. I don't know if that's clear, but like, so back here, your back left. And it looks like your back of your 6th chakra and the back of your 5th chakra got damaged from that whack, and a bunch of auras got damaged. It just looks like the gallbladder meridian work we did and the liver meridian work we did kicked out a bunch of invasive beings. And we did recycle lurkers several times. But I think there was like one invasive being in particular. Oh, you have an agreement with him from a past life. So go ahead and imagine the being that knocked his way back through and whacked up your 6th and your 5th, and clear the agreement between you and that invasive being, because then you'll be able to, have your angels recycle him. So yeah, if you're having like weird backlash stuff, even though you've recycled lurkers several times, and you're not like a big group healer like me or something, or even an energy healer one-on-one, then there's probably something odd going on. And in this case, it just looks like there's an invasive being that you had an agreement with. So he wasn't recycled with the standard request because the agreement's there that kind of blocks that from the past. So just, clear that agreement with the being that whacked his way back in. And then you can get him recycled, and then you can start repairing the back of your 6th, back of your 5th, and that whole side of your back left side of your auras. And if you want, you can, do that right now if you're listening, and then you can comment again. And if I have time, I'll see your comment and see how you did with your work. Otherwise, if you don't get to it now, you could comment under the video, and eventually I would see your comment. But you'd have to remind me what happened and what got whacked if you're commenting under the video, because I'm not going to remember this later. All right. Hope that helps. Somebody says, thank you, Janet, for the healing. I was with, and you mentioned a family member, at his college for the orientation day. Oh, that's exciting. Excited and triggered, of course. With the essentials and unblock wisdom part, I was able to get in all my chakras and good enough fitted. Isn't that nice? He was triggered too. He felt overwhelmed since he woke up on the way to the college in the morning. We listened to the last twin set that calmed down, but at the end of the day, he was done. I tried to talk, but he was so uninterested, had enough. How will he be able to get through? I pray to the angels. Get through meaning get admitted into that college? I don't know what you mean by that. The angels seem to say that like whatever happens with college or not college or, whatever, is kind of all locked in, like the next 12 months, like him and the angels and you guys and all that. It's like, so they just keep showing me that phrase meant to be. So I guess just imagine, keep handle the whole situation to your angels. Say, angels, can you handle all that? But it seems like it's all sort of settled, whatever's going to happen. And, it's for his learning and all that. So they're like, you don't have to worry. It's just kind of got to play out in the next 12 months. So they say, don't get lost in the drama of it all. Because, at his age, he thinks this is the most important moment of his life, but it's actually not. But, he is working with his angels. He's letting them help him. So I don't know if that helps, but that's what they're telling me. So it says, thank you, Janet. I wasn't able to listen through the healing, but am feeling calm. That's nice. You might like, I'm going to highlight it to make sure it becomes a video chapter. But there was this part where we did this thing where we imagine your brain and your spinal cord, like your central nervous system, as like a calm body of water, and you imagine like the surface, this calm surface of water, and then you imagine your enteric nervous system, the nervous system that runs your digestive system, as also like a calm body of water with like a nice peaceful surface, and then you remove the stuff that harms the peacefulness and the proper harmony of these two systems. So that might have contributed, it looks like it contributed to how you feel calm right now, and your angels kind of like that for you, that section. So it's like calm surface of water, maybe, is what the title of that chapter would be. Okie doke. But anyway, I'm glad that you feel good. Yesterday I went running. Haven't done that in months. Oh, very nice. I think my angels were healing me in advance. Yeah. There's healings that you can opt into that relate to the healings for this month that happen early. So yeah, it looks like you did some of those in your sleep. So good for you. That's nice that you already had results. Someone says, I've been using a pendulum to get some yes and no answers. I think my angels are wanting me to step away from that and listening directly. I think that's true. I think, little devices like that, like tarot cards and pendulums and stuff, they're not inherently bad in all ways or anything. Like, it depends on if you, like, sometimes what your past lives were like when you were using those tools. And if you had past lives where you weren't that present when you were using those tools, then you may kind of pop out and use them in the same way that you used to. And so it might not be as energetically safe as if, you just stay fully present and you just, work on your telepathy and your hearing. But, it is possible to use tools like that in a way that you're fully present and you don't have any invasive beings interfering with the pendulum or the tarot cards or whatever. But, again, it kind of depends on your past lives that you've had with those tools and just like what makes you more present and safe. So it depends, like saging for some people is very safe and helps them, and they can be fully present when they're doing it, in part because they've had really, strong empowered past lives where they did, clearing rituals like that. So it's very different for different people. But yeah, I could see why your angels think that working on your telepathy is more would help you grow more right now, because if you work on telepathy so you can hear your angels directly, it helps in a lot of ways, because it helps clear your mind, gets negative thoughts out of your mind, and And then, you know, you can hear your angels whenever, 24/7, when they're trying to communicate with you. So you don't have to whip out the pendulum and sit down and whatever, you know. So they can more in the moment advise you throughout your day. So interesting. Someone says, thank you so much, Shanna. I fell asleep after. I lost my place. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much, Shanna. I fell asleep after the 5 essentials. Just woke up and have rawness in front of my 4th chakra and chest, numbness in shoulders and left arm. Seem like in my space. Oh, a client. I was like, what's WUM? I thought it was like one of our acronyms that we use, like Good Karma Windows or something, or Manifestation Wings. Yeah, it looks like you have a big hard object going right into the front of your 4th chakra. Like, pretty significant in size. It's like a silver. It's from an invasive being. I don't think it's from that guy. I mean, it's not even one of his beings. It's something else. Something you picked up on some retreat you did. Let's see. A couple weeks ago. It's a being that just like stays in the background, like in the back of your auras or somewhere. You don't really notice it. But then if you get too present, it kind of knocks you, you know, he kind of, you know, causes drama to distract you and make you less present. So yeah, it's just some being you got on a retreat. You don't have any agreement with him or anything. But again, you a lot of times you tend to be like, oh, it was that client, and then you get into this whole distraction about you and that client, you know, and sometimes it's just not. So anyway, it's just not that guy or related to any client, really. So you could just, you know, I don't know if you saw the like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that like that animation that was done a long time ago in the US, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but they had this abominable snowman in that show. It was just this big white monster, this white furry monster that was supposed to be like really scary. That, you know, scared Rudolph and everybody. And but anyway, this being kind of looks like the abominable snowman. So you could just have him recycled. And then you got to repair up though. Get rid of the big silver spike in your 4th chakra and heal that up. Yeah, I don't think it's related to that guy though. But anyway, you say, I keep recycling his invasive beings focused on me and repair. Yeah, I just don't think he's that big of an issue. Yeah, he does have some beings that can whack you. That's true. Oh, interesting. You have some shit starter parts of you, like walled off parts of you that keep scolding him. And so when he tries to jump in your space, the client, you like those shit starter walled off parts of you that you're not conscious of, start like insulting him and scolding him and doing all this stuff that triggers him, and then he gets really pissed and imbalanced, and then his beings come at you. So heal the shit starter parts of you that just can't kind of stay neutral, because neutral is much safer. You know, I mean, the only time, yeah, it's probably not a great strategy to like insult people that are trying to be in your space, because I mean, if you, yeah, it's, I mean, I know that at one point you tried that, but the problem is if there's a part of you that's imbalanced, that part of you can kind of get really imbalanced with that kind of stuff. It's better if you just try to, you know, just stay centered and think of the big picture and neutral, and, you know, have your angels carry off the person, and then look at the invasive beings of that person that are coming at you and get those recycled. And yeah. So anyway, look for the shit starter parts of you that are contributing to your issues with invasive clients, and heal those parts of you. Hope that helps. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Sometimes in the midst of it all, it's difficult to think of anything else but what is happening at the moment. Kids, you mentioned your kids' initials, have been on another level lately, myself included. Same with spouse. I just do not feel seen or respected by any of them, and feel lost in trying to find a solution. Yeah, there is kind of a real like frenzy. Okay, so this is gonna, I don't want to encourage any sort of paranoia or anything, but I think actually like your spouse is like kind of maybe accidentally, like maybe it started like in a well-intentioned way, I think, but it doesn't work out that way now. Like you know how you have a first chakra cord to each of your kids, right? And that's good. They're young kids, and that's the way it should be. And the energy should be one direction from your first chakra to theirs, not the other way around. If it's the other way around, they're kind of running you. Potentially. So it should be just earth energy and a little bit of your first chakra, courage and safety, going to each one of these kids through that first chakra cord. And nobody should be cording into that cord. So it should be just a direct line just between you and that child, and then another direct line between you and your first chakra and the other child's first chakra. You know, so three first chakra cords, no interference from anyone else. But your spouse is cording each of those cords, and his energy is getting in, and it in effect sort of puts this curtain between your kids and him and you. So it's like you're on one side of the curtain and they're all on the other side of the curtain. And you're like, why does no one understand me? Like, and they kind of talk at you, not to you, and they don't really hear you. So what I would say is, I think initially he didn't mean to be like, okay, they're my kids, not yours, or anything. I think maybe at one point you were especially not feeling well one day, and so that's when he started doing it. But anyway, you can just say, angels, can you help me clean off these first chakra cords to my kids? So they're just between me and my kids, direct first chakra cords. And so they're as healthy as possible. The cords are healthy and, appropriate. Right. And so that way your angels can clean him off of them. You don't have to deal with it. Just make the request from your angels. Maybe what you could do to help strengthen the relationship between you and your kids is make them energy presents and then hand those presents to your angels and say, angels, can you deliver these to my kids if they'll help? And maybe just do that. Like, you can do it 3 times a day if you wanted, or, at least once a day, I would say. And, because it looks like, that and cleaning off the cords at the first chakra between you and each child, so that you can strengthen that communication, because it does seem like their ability to really comprehend you and respect the, the healthy, appropriate hierarchy between you and them gets really shattered. So yeah, energy presence for each of your kids every day. Just, whatever, like, I really wish you the best, and, just make some healing energy presence for them, and just say, angels, can you clean these off and only deliver them if they'll help my kids and my relationship with my kids. But yeah, it does seem like, nourishing that relationship could help and keeping that first chakra cord clear. So hope that helps. Between you and your spouse, I mean, there's a lot there that, is not as easily fixable, but between you and your kids, I think that would be a better thing to focus on for starters. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, Holy Spirit, holy, holy, holy blessings to all of you, sending unconditional love and sending divine love, sending agape love to you all, holy family and friends. Well, thank you. A lot of that. And then someone says, thank you, Janet, about 4th layer secret doorway blocks. I've gotten pretty unmotivated the past 2 weeks, so I'll look at what I'm avoiding. That seems to track with how I'm feeling. Yeah. Someone says, I was listening. Thank you for the healing tip. I healed the back of the 5th and 6th chakra. Yes, you did. Nice job. Yeah. Yeah. I did not heal the aura layers very well. I will finish that work up while I go outside and walk dogs. Yeah, you did pretty well. I would just, do more like gold light, unblock, gold light, unblock. Just keep strengthening that area too. Don't just, because it does seem kind of like a little too airy-fairy. It's too like watercolory. It's not as strong as it could be. It looks kind of depleted. But I think that's just because a a lot of times you get energy blocks that build up here that you're like, oh, later for that, oh, later for that, later for that. So you shove stuff back there you don't want to deal with, and then it just becomes weak and brittle with all the energy blocks there. So yeah, you could keep strengthening back there and unblocking. Okay, cool. Good job on healing the chakras. Excuse me. Someone says, interesting about tarot cards and past lives. They very much freak me out in this life, and I intuited that I had used them in a not so great way in past lives. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not very comfortable with them myself in this life. I think it depends how you use them. I mean, I guess you could be really present and use them. But I think a lot of people are not that present and they use them, for wisdom and whatever. But yeah, it's not really my cup of tea in this life either. Personally. Someone says, I've been asking angels to help clear my living space of beings. Are there times when they won't do that for us? And if so, what should we do? I think your angels are just nudging about like, okay, read a little bit too, like meet them halfway. And, like which closet of yours needs the most cleaning out of beings and just skanky energy, and point that one out extra to your angels. Or, does your front door or your back door need more healing? What about like your laundry room? Or what about, like just rather than like, because I think sometimes they're like, sure, no problem, and they do it. But sometimes they're kind of like, all right, you're not really using your own intuition even to read the situation. You're just like, something's wrong. Heal it, fix it, angels. And they kind of want you to, like, I think sometimes you have some fear of noticing invasive beings. You're like, well, I don't want to go crazy and see invasive beings everywhere. But they're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Just use your intuition and, high level read things. They're just trying to get you to be more aware and maybe do like a tricolor earth energy soak. It's like as you get more advanced, angels tend to like, as you get more experience, your angels feel like, okay, you could do more. You're grounded enough. You could clear a little bit of avoidance and, notice something extra. Like notice that your kitchen needs more grounding than your bedroom or vice versa. Like just kind of play around with your awareness a little bit. Because sometimes you're kind of like, angels deal with it, like there's a little bit of avoidance that they don't think is in your best interest. So I hope that makes sense. Someone says, thanks. Healing shit starter parts I didn't know were scolding. Only retreat I went on was the last weekend in April. Good to yeah. I think that's maybe it was just like a lunch with some women or something then, if you don't call it a retreat. It was just some kind of class, spiritual event, some kind of thing with other people that was overtly spiritual, but you weren't leading, you were participating. So I don't know. It may have been a virtual event, so you didn't like physically, geographically travel there. Maybe it was online. It doesn't really matter what it was. It's just, you picked up the abominable snowman. Good to recycle the abominable snowman. Maybe that's what causes little sharp pains. That's a different one. You have a different abominable snowman that causes sharp pains. It's a little spiky boy. Has a little like a little black dagger The black dagger being, we could call him. Get him too. You have an agreement with him too from a past life. Yeah, so clear the agreement and then have your angels recycle the black dagger being. Oh, maybe a lunch. Yeah, that sounds right. Okie doke. Well, how about that? We'll do a quick garden update and then that's a wrap. Okay, garden update. So I can't believe it's June. All the tomatoes are planted. I have 3 spares I'm going to give away to a neighbor. I don't like giving away tomato starts to my immediate neighbors because my goal is to have so many tomatoes that I'm giving actual tomatoes away to my nearby neighbors, which my angels call tomato diplomacy, where it's like, okay, here's a bunch of fresh produce, you know, so it helps them think more positively of us than they might otherwise think of an energy healer neighbor. It's like, well, at least she grows good tomatoes. The greenhouse, the portable greenhouse in the backyard, that's going really well. I have some insanely happy basil plants in there that really need to be planted. But there's this area where I want to plant some of them, but the soil really needs to be worked over. And I just haven't been motivated in the last couple of days to do it because it's like I have other things to do. But so that's sort of a project. I am thinking of like composting in place in that garden bed, which would take a little longer to fix the soil than, you know, just like putting a bunch of good stuff in a composter and having it break down and then transporting the compost to that bed. We'll see what I end up doing. I'm going to watch it because sometimes I always pick the most complicated solution. But I just really want good soil because I think last year the soil in this one bed was pretty mediocre. And so it didn't hold moisture well enough. And then there were more pests, you know, like bothering the plants because the plants weren't as healthy. That's sort of an interesting thing about like a similarity between plants and people. Like that. Like if you're not healthy enough, like if you're not getting enough sleep, or maybe you're not eating enough regular protein, so your blood sugar's low, it harms your energy boundaries, like how strong your boundaries are with people and invasive beings. So then you're more prone to aura damage and chakra damage and stuff because you're just not as strong as you could be. Your auras aren't as strong. So it's true for plants. and pests, that if they're not as healthy because maybe the soil's not as good or something, or they're not getting enough water or whatever, then they're more susceptible to the bad bugs that eat them. So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, so but overall, I guess so far so good. I've been really lucky though. We haven't had much extreme weather, which is good. I still have to get this. There's this spigot in the front yard that leaks, which is kind of a problem because if you want to water the garden, then you have to turn on that spigot and, you know, it leaks, like, which could damage the siding of the house. So I got to get a handyman to come and fix that. I could fix it myself, like through YouTube. But my angels are all like, have the handyman do it. So we'll see. I think part of it's because we need a handyman for like half a dozen other projects in the next year. So it's like a good time to find a good one. So we'll see. Interesting stuff. Alrighty. So that's my website. Feel free to check out the healings and stuff. Get a full subscription if you want, or just buy a set of healings at a time. That's fine too if you want. But there is that promo going on this month for full subscriptions. That if you buy a full subscription for yourself or a loved one, then before the healings actually kick in, those healing sets, I would give you 2 free sets to help you enjoy yourself before the healings sets start that you actually purchased. But if you didn't get the news email about that, you can email me and I'll forward you that news email, or you can ask me questions if you have about it. Yeah. Oh, and then my email address too. So janet@jwhealing.com. All right, guys, you are so amazing. Hope you have a good afternoon, evening, whatever's next for you. Bye. Next healing is in 3 days on Sunday.